Hey guys, Dr. Epic here. Today we're going to be ranking the Citadel races of Mass Effect from best to worst. To decide this, we will be looking at their lore and how well they play their roles in the game. To make this interesting, I'll also speculate on the potential for the Asari in Mass Effect 4 and take this into account as well. We will also be looking at the X factor, meaning the little extra or charm or whatever, which is a largely subjective metric, will likely be the deciding factor, so you are more than welcome to express your opinions in the comments if you have your own X factor or own preferences.
Hallelujah, hallelujah.
Alright, let's evaluate these races. I know that intro sounds kind of suspect, but there's no way to say this without it sounding weird, so just be glad the intro doesn't sound something like, not all races are created equal, so let's rank them. Okay, alright, it could have been worse, is all I'm saying. Anyways, let's get racist. The Citadel races are the Asari, Durell, Elcor, Hanar, Humans, Keepers, Salarians, Durians, and the Volus. First video for this series will be the Asari. The Asari are known as the e-girls of the galaxy. Everybody wants their favor, either politically or otherwise. For some reason, every single species in the galaxy find them sexually attractive and beautiful, even the Krogan. At the same time, Asari are a powerful galactic faction with a capable military presence, fierce special commando forces, and advanced technology and sciences, putting them at the top of the galactic food chain of politics, at least in terms of soft power. And by that I'm referring to their strong diplomatic skills, though their military is definitely also one of the strongest in terms of raw, hard power. The Asari boast a big advanced navy with ships such as the Destiny Ascension flagship. Asari military units are organized in a kind of a cool way, in my opinion, almost like a galactic militia, but still professional. Mass Effect Wikipedia describes the Asari military fittingly as a collection of tribal warrior bands with no national structure, where each community organizes its own unit as the locals see fit and elect a leader to command them. End quote. This results in very diversely organized combat units with, quote, units from populous cities tending to be large and well equipped, while those from farm villages may be only a few Asari with small arms. There is no uniform. Everyone wears what they like. End quote. The Asari warriors are very skilled and feared, not only because of the wealthy and technologically advanced societies they spawn in, but also because they can live up to 1,000 years, giving them crazy time to get good. Asari biology is in my opinion one of the most unique and fascinating in the game, mainly their monogenderism, natural biotic abilities, their melding abilities, and ability to reproduce across species borders. A good example of feared Asari warriors are the notorious Huntresses or Commandos, as well as the notorious Justicars. The Justicars are also telling us a lot about Asari religion and spirituality, which is also a cool and interesting part of the Asari culture, and it's kind of reminiscent of some kind of space Buddhism. Their societal structure as republics and a governance form similar to some form of direct democracy is fairly interesting to see implemented in a galactic setting, even if it's only visible in the background lore and codex, and not so much directly in the game. There's no doubt the Asari have a significantly fleshed out lore, background, culture and history. They're easily one of the most important species in Mass Effect due to their role in Mass Effect's history, like the discovery of the Citadel, formation of the Council, the Rachni Wars, Spectres, and the list basically just goes on. Furthermore, they play a huge role in the story of the games themselves, notable examples including the contributions from Liara, or the Asari Counselor, the Asari World Ilium, Thessia, and of course the secret hidden on Thessia revealed in Mass Effect 3. The Asari also play a significant role in the Andromeda Initiative, bringing their sophisticated intelligence and culture aboard to help build a new and better society in Andromeda, at least as far as possible, with the Scourge whipping the Milky Way visitors hard. The last fun fact to address is this piece of trivia from the Mass Effect Wikipedia. Quote, according to Mordin Solus, offspring of Asari-Vorcha matings are allergic to dairy products. However,
Pelesaria Besaili
suggests that Asari no longer have allergies, counter to Mordin's claim. End quote. Massive plot hole, you guys. Massive plot hole.
unplayable.
I think the Asari are easily leaning towards being a Garrus tier species, which is very good. Yeah, they're not very original in their design, as they're visually literally just blue humans with tentacles on their head, but they offer so much more in lore and characteristics that they're unique and interesting in my eyes nonetheless. So please, BioWare, let us play as Asari in Mass Effect 4. You can even reuse human animations, human armor, voices, everything. Just please, let us play as the blue people. The Avatar game isn't cutting it. Speaking of Mass Effect 4, a question is being begged. What role will the Asari have in the next game? I will weigh this as well in the question of what tier the Asari belong in, as I think the potential is something that I want to take into account. So it's time for some good old-fashioned Mass Effect speculation. I do like to base things in lore from the game and stuff established throughout the story, as well as relevant trailers for the game, if we can presume them to be showing us canon stuff. Mass Effect 4 speculation and theory crafting is a very unique type of exercise, because we all know Mass Effect 3 had several majorly different endings depending on your choices. And we can roughly categorize them as the destroy ending, or the red ending, control ending, or the blue ending, synthesis ending, the green ending, and refusal ending.
So be it.
We fought the Reapers, but we failed to stop them.
The Giga Chad Big Balls ending. I think the destroy ending is going to end up as the canon ending for the sequels, and would be very surprised, perhaps positively, if they ended up choosing one of the others. But since I want to do my job properly, I'll speculate on the Asari's role in all 4 of these different scenarios. If the refusal ending is a canon scenario, it's hard to see how the next game would play out, but I imagine the story likely would be you trying to stop the Reapers, or someone aligned with some Reapers perhaps, from returning once again. Either as a... you would play either as a hero from awakened from stasis, being introduced to a new world, a new cycle, new society, new races, a new Milky Way really. Alternatively, the story could even be set after this new cycle with a new era of species using Liara's data cache help perhaps, and having defeated the Reapers. In the latter scenario, I imagine the Asari would be an extinct ancient mentor-like species, greatly admired by the next generation, like, you know, the Protheans are to us. And probably some species would religiously worship the Asari as well, like the Hanar did to the Protheans. Another possible way for Asari to survive in this scenario would be if there were any Asari frozen down in the Milky Way on hidden worlds like the Protheans tried and failed to do. If the vastly more advanced Protheans failed at this, I'm highly skeptical that even the advanced Asari could pull it off, but, you know, who knows. From Mass Effect 3 cinematics here, we know that Liara managed to make a drone, VI or record or something, to aid the coming generations and civilizations of new aliens. The Asari role vis-a-vis the next cycle's races would then be a sort of similar to the Protheans' ancient mentor role, delivering the Crucible data and all the other Reaper data to the next cycle. This could be enough to let this civilization defeat the Reapers. If Asari survivors from Andromeda were to return as well, then I would imagine the next generation would react in interesting ways, almost like a second coming of the Lord. The Asari, like any other OG Milky Way race returning from Andromeda, could possibly even face more hostile reactions after some time from the next generation Milky Way races. And one thing we have to remember is that a lot of Asari fled to Andromeda with the Arcs. These Asari wouldn't have nearly as much of their old strength though, so I'm skeptical how much they could contribute with in the short term if they were to return to Milky Way and fight some kind of big antagonist. Of course, if you wait say 40,000 years, which is just 40 Asari generations actually, allow them to intelligently plan in peace in the Andromeda galaxy how to strike the Reapers in dark space. They could utilize their Asari intelligence, their long lifespan, which would allow them probably better long-term planning skills than most racers. The Asari sophistication and traditions for advanced technology and design. Then, yeah, the Asari could be an important and decisive factor in how to permanently stop the Reapers in such a scenario. In a war against the next-gen Milky Way races, a rebuilt Asari civilization could pose a serious threat, I would believe. If the control ending is canon, it's difficult to say how the story would be in that scenario. The control ending is supposed to be a paradise ending where the Reapers ensure peace, stability and prosperity for all under the careful guidance of a wise Shepherd AI construct. However, if this AI is corrupted, malicious or full-blown renegade mode, just a renegade AI Shepherd, then this scenario would quickly become a nightmare realm, let's be honest. And in that kind of scenario I would imagine it turning out either to be a return to the classic cycle pattern of the Reapers, or Shepard basically becoming Anne, like I have no mouth and I must scream. Half-Life 2, Dead Space, or a Matrix scenario, with Reapers being like Lovecraftian overlords and you're fighting a huge-ass uphill battle against them like an interstellar rebel. Could be very interesting, but wouldn't be very classic Mass Effect, so I'm kind of skeptical that they would dare to try something this new. But anyway, in this scenario, the Asari would likely be equally oppressed as all the other races. Their long lifespan could make them extra valuable assets to the rebellion, with all the knowledge they gain throughout their life. Also, their natural biotics would perhaps make them harder to subjugate, as an Asari wouldn't really ever be unarmed. Banshees, as we know, are very powerful Reaper units, so I imagine the Reapers would want to keep some Asari around to perhaps make more of those, if that's how that life cycle works. So the Asari knowledge, biotics, and long-term planning skills could be the key to success of a rebellion against the evil Shepard AI, which I'm going to refer to as the Renegade Shepard AI because I think that's kinda describing. If the synthesis ending was canon, it's hard to imagine any conflict here as well. This is also supposed to be a paradise ending with synthetic and organic life merging into one cooperative whole, you can say. In this scenario, the Reapers would also still be around and presumably nice. Much like the control ending, conflict in this story would likely stem from who's controlling the Reapers or who has them on their side. And the Asari would play largely the same role in the synthesis universe as they do in the control universe, if there is to be some kind of conflict for us. In both the synthesis and control ending, like I said on the refusal ending, an Asari civilization rebuilt in Andromeda could also be a strong factor in retaking the Milky Way and aiding the rebellion. In the destroy ending universe, however, then we are looking at the potential for a much more classic Mass Effect story in the Milky Way. Because here I imagine the Asari would utilize all their unique abilities and traditional soft and hard power to re-establish their power level in the galaxy. A lot of the Asari's power stems from the fact they were the first to explore the galaxy and could set the foundations for galactic societies in their image from the get-go. And after the devastating Reaper War, the reset button has largely been hit, so the Asari homeworld, like many other colonies and homeworlds, were hit hard. So this could mean it's more of a free-for-all, as now there is much more competition for the Asari if they want to be the dominatrix of the Milky Way. Soft power in the form of diplomacy and tradition-based politics, goodwill, etc. might not be enough for them to regain their standing in the galaxy. I reckon they will still utilize their long lifespans to make some good plannings for peace, however, and I reckon a lot of races will still find them charming and attractive, so they might be able to use that to their advantage. I mean, who are you more likely to make a deal with? This? Or this? Even though Thessia was hit hard, it's likely it didn't have time to be destroyed as hard as Earth, Tuchanka or Palaven for instance, and that could give the Asari a slight rebuilding advantage maybe. Liara is obviously going to play some sort of role in the next game, going by the teasers and trailers, proving that the Asari are one of the confirmed species to return at least, and at least in the form of one individual. And Liara being a hopefully well-respected matriarch, and having worked as a knowledgeable shadow broker, I think the Asari are well positioned to become one of the most powerful races and societies in the next generation. The Asari will likely also benefit from not really having any noteworthy beef with the other races, except for hiding their Prothean relics on Thessia for too long, leading to, let's be honest, a protracted and more bloody war against the Reapers. But besides this, which we will have to see how that pans out, the Salarians, Turians and Krogans, humans and Batarians, for instance, all have some kind of beef, and they will have to reconcile long troubled histories with one another. Hopefully the Reaper War allowed these races to forge some kind of bonds together that will keep them from returning to old, violent ways. So in conclusion, I think the Asari have been dealt good cards to become a dominant and strong force in the next galaxy, but it can be challenging, with the competition being more level after the Reaper War. I will say they have a very interesting and unique potential for Mass Effect 4, combined with their cool lore, history, biology, their important various roles in bringing life and the classic Mass Effect style to the existing games. All this considered, I think I will give the Asari a well-earned Garrus tier. But what do you think though? Was that too generous? Do the Asari belong further down on the list? Are there elements, good or bad, that I overlooked? What do you think of the Asari, and what role do you think they will play in the next Mass Effect? Please do share, as I will presume that we all love talking about Mass Effect. At least if you stuck around for this part of the video. Anyways, this is Dr. Epic signing out. Like if cool, dislike if cringe. And remember, embrace this channel for eternity. Peace out.
I only hope the information in this capsule is enough to help you before it's too late. My name is Dr. Liara Tasuni. Herein lies the recounting of our war with the Reapers.
Hey, hop in, man.